Hey guys, what's up? It's Camry and I'm back with another video. Alright, so I don't usually review the Love and Hip Hop series. I do watch them faithfully. I tweet with Black Twitter with the hashtags and everything, but I don't usually review them. But I thought I might try something different. So tonight I'm reviewing Love and Hip Hop Hollywood episode 1. I think this is season 2 or 3. Let's get into it. We get a different take already because we got K. Michelle, or formerly now known as Kimberly, narrating the intro of the show. We get her in the backseat of a Phantom. Was it a Phantom or a Chrysler 300? Anyway, she's narrating as she's driving through LA in the traffic, child. As we all know, if y'all don't know, I'm from California also, so I am privy to that LA traffic. Anyway, so she's riding through and they're focusing in on different people doing different things, and she's tying it into the flashback of the seasons before. And I thought this was a real creative way to edit the flashbacks in to kind of refresh our memory of everything that's happened in the past seasons, but then show us what's to come in an interesting way instead of just saying last season on Love and Hip Hop. You know, they tied it in a better way. So big ups to the Love and Hip Hop squad for that. Great editing, you know, great transitions, great cinematography, you know, like I like to say cinematography. Now what I was confused about was why K. Michelle was leading it. I know that K. Michelle is one of those breakout stars, you know, Cardi B, K. Michelle, Yandy is a favorite, you know, Remy Ma, all these breakout stars. So Mona likes to but she's really close to them, so she likes to give them more of a platform than others. You know, you can tell Mona has her favorites, but K. Michelle's not from LA. And when you think of LA, you think of that Ray J accent, you know, you think of a different type of flavor, but you know, you're starting to see that a lot of people from the South are coming on to Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. You got the Lucci guy, you got Brooke Valentine, you know, you got all these people with these down south accents. They're not necessarily associated with that city that they're in for that specific franchise. So anyway, we get Kimberly narrating the intro, and you know, we're doing all the flashbacks, and we start to notice Kimberly looks a little different. I don't know if she got a nose job. I don't know if the makeup was too light. I don't know what was going on. You know, we had heard in the news about her butt injections and about how they turned lethal, and she was having back pain and trouble with dehydration during shows, and you know, she's having surgery to get it all taken out. So we're seeing all that as she's in this first scene, as she's sitting with Moniece and Bridget at a brunch, and you know, they're kind of getting spun up and caught up on everything. She's letting them know that she's getting all that taken out. Pause. How these reviews are going to work is I'm not going to fully recap the show because it's a lot to cover. And between this astronomy homework, this paper due next week, and graduating next week, I simply don't have the time to write down every single thing that happens. But we can do a little recap and get into some breakout moments of the episode. Moments that kind of stuck out and made me say, or oh, you know, stuff like that. So if you want a whole play-by-play, go to Twitter, you know, live tweet with us. It is a good time. So anyway, back to the review. So like I said, K. Michelle's telling about her butt injections. Bridget says that she patched things up with Brooke Valentine, who we did not get to see this episode. And Moniece talks about her beef with Brandy and Ray J and Princess, which we already knew about, and we heard about it in the blogs. You know about Brandy being the surrogate for Princess and all of that. Yeah, all that is gonna go down in this season, and I can already tell it's exhausting. At the same time, Nikki is having her boss brunch. Princess shows up pregnant. You got Lyrica in this big coat. I don't know what's going on. And Paris. And we remember Paris from K. Michelle's reality show, where Paris was her assistant until she was accused of stealing $50 from her. And in this episode, she still didn't clear that up. She kind of was just mad that K. Michelle told the world, but still didn't say she didn't steal. So they're also just catching up, you know, just a different clique, catching up on the same stuff. What I got out of this scene was Princess's pregnant self, say that 3 times fast. Princess's pregnant self saying, drop that pin if you're in the same place as Moniece so I can roll up. Okay, let's take a break. Princess, you know, we watched you and Ray J go through it. We watched you go tit for tat, okay? I mean, You throwing stuff at him, strippers and other girls involved, him partying all night, you throwing drinks in his face, him pushing you in the pool on national TV. So you would think at this point we would be past this. I mean, you're pregnant, you guys are married, so a lot of that stuff push to the side. But no, not Princess. How you gonna tell somebody to drop a pin for where someone's at, and then you think that you're gonna show up and be reckless at the mouth, and then that's it? It cannot work like that. It just can't. Especially with Moniece. You're not gonna say whatever it is that you wanna say and think that she's not gonna retaliate. So as we see later on in the episode, it didn't work like that. I was exactly right. All this kind of segues into Princess's complaint still about Ray J doing the same stuff that he was doing when they were dating and then engaged and now married. And that kind of segues into the scene at Lucci's party where Ray J's trying to get something from a jeweler, a ring, or a sorry gift. Now listen, Princess, when you decided to get married, instead of leaving him after he threw you in that pool, girl, I can't get over how he pushed you in that pool. Anyway, after you decided to stay with him through that, there should have been some mandates, some standards, some requirements that had to happen before you guys pushed forward. Okay, you know the man, you know his personality, you know how he do. So it should not have been any surprise to you that he's running off to Vegas unless you mandated or made it a standard or requirement that these things are no longer allowed now that we have exchanged nuptials. Okay? I don't know if that was televised, but Princess, you cannot keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. That is the definition of insanity. So until you require more, the man will not do anymore. As we see them doing interviews now, Ray J and Princess seem to be on the up and up. Everything seems to be going well. But it's just sad that all this had to play out on TV, and now they're going to have to relive it again because then they're going to see the tweets and, anything else that might come out. So it's just sad, and I'm hoping that they get through it. But Princess, you really cannot be surprised unless you required more. And that's not just a testament, that's not just a word for you, that's a word for all of us women. You cannot keep expecting something different to happen when you are doing the same thing. Can we just talk about Lucci blowing this big advance from his new record deal? Isn't this the #1 cause of the demise of upcoming artists? You get this huge advance to do it as you may, promising that you will return on the back end with sales and all that. But you're just blowing it, throwing the money at the strippers. And I don't know all the back stuff, but for you to be like, I got this big advance, the first thing that you say, that kind of let us know where you at with that. So Ray J is talking about, it comes back to this Princess and Ray J situation where Ray J has the nerve, the gall, to be upset about Princess putting his business on social media. Now, Ray J, you have been famous long enough. You've been a celebrity long enough to understand the repercussions of who you're around, who you allow in your space. Make sure you have phones at the door, NDAs. You understand all that back from Moesha time frame. You've been singing all this time. You've been acting. You know the deal. So for you to act so surprised that a female would take pictures of you and send them to Princess and basically incite a riot, because we have watched you two on these shows. So people with the wrong intentions, they know what to do to make fire happen between you two. So just the fact that you know all that and you still talk about, I'ma still do what I'm gonna do. That part right there, that's why you have a problem. So if you don't fix it, it's gonna keep festering, is all I'm saying. You can't be mad at her. Which brings me to Mama Norwood. I'm hopping around, but Mama Norwood pops up at Ray J's place at night. She still got a key to his place. He's married. She don't necessarily get along with Princess, but has a key to his place. That is the epitome of not letting go. Okay? We have always known Mama Norwood to be extremely overprotective of Ray J. We all know that. But you know, just to see her interjecting her 2 cents in between, you know, Princess and Ray J and saying the wife with air quotes, it's just so disrespectful. You know, your granddaughter that you're about to have is gonna see that one day. You know, saying all these things about her, you know, they're already married. So they're not dating anymore. Mama Norwood, with all due respect, you cannot say things like that about her as his wife. You're so upset about her posting things on social media when she was not even clear. It was very subliminal. She did not clearly say who it was, you know. But, you know, obviously, you know, Mama Norwood got the church friends. She got people that's going to see it. And, you know, she's going to feel a type of way about it. She's going to be embarrassed and, you know, ready to attack. But that is their business. One thing I cannot stand is when people act like, you know, they'll cast a stone at you and be upset at you, but they don't have nothing to say about what's causing you to act that way. You know, you want to be upset about somebody's reaction, but how about we get to the root of it? Because I wouldn't have this reaction had not it have been for his action. Can I get an amen? Okay, so, you know, Mama Norwood, her energy is directed at the wrong place. So we need to get that checked. K Michelle, we all know K Michelle to be a little bit wild, okay? With her whole new introduction with this new face and, you know, her slimming down on the butt injections and calling herself Kimberly, I had expected her not to be so turned. Not to have so much of that, you know, ratchetry busting out of the seams. But I was wrong. Her and A1 her and Lyrica go at it. And when I tell you, it was just just out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. K Michelle is doing a sound check. And she is hooked up to an IV because of dehydration. Because, you know, she's under them lights. I don't know if she's sipping water or her whiskey or Jack Daniels. I don't know what she's sipping. But she's hooked up to an IV and still yelling at Lyrica, trying to fight Lyrica, trying to throw the stool, dragging the IV on the pole with her. I mean, I can understand, you know, a little drama for, you know, a little character for dramatic effects. I can understand that. But at the risk of my health, no. You dragging the IV along. You know, I've always been a K Michelle fan because, you know, she studied music in college. She's classically trained. And, you know, that I can identify with that because I went to school for music. I ain't quite finished, but I went to school for music. I sung opera, did a little piano. So I like that about her. And then I like that she's still, you know, a little ratchet. And I like how her music is real and straight to the point. But at the same time, it's just like, can you kind of it's like it's a lot. Like Lyrica was kind of confused, you could tell, because, you know, at first it kind of started out like, you know, you was late to my show, and then Lyrica, you know, I kind of was irritated with Lyrica because she's blaming that's management's fault. Well, you know, how about you get to the bottom of it? Because K Michelle's trying to be friendly with you at first, but then K Michelle started giving advice that wasn't warranted, and I can't stand people like that either. You know, it's one thing, you know, if we're friends and you're giving friendly advice, but, you know, you can kind of tell K Michelle was being a little condescending. You can kind of tell, like, I'm here and you're here. So if you want to be on this level, you must behave as such. You know, and, you know, there's a way and there's a way. So K Michelle, you wasn't doing it the right way, and you know, at the risk of your health with the IV and all that, I mean, it wasn't worth all that. And you know, when A1 came to you later on, which I thought was weird, A1 came there without his wife to your house. You know, you dressed how you dressed. I mean, he obviously ain't gonna do nothing because you're obviously not interested. But still, I mean, I'm not sending my husband to a woman's house late at night. I'm just not doing that. So anyway, he shows up, and you know, you guys are talking first rationally, and then it goes into this war about status and about K Michelle's name in the industry, and nobody wants to work with her, and you know, and you jealous. And I honestly don't think K Michelle is jealous, but I do think that she has a problem with toning it down. Don't have very many levels, you know, it's either down or up. Okay, so they get into it. So I'm just like what is going on? You know, K Michelle, this episode was definitely chock full of drama. Mona did not disappoint. And you know, we're always asking for the drama. And from time to time, we like a little ignorance. You know, I hate to say it, but we like a little ignorance. We will watch and tweet as long as it is not associated with our own lives. We get to see a little of Tierra Marie. She has lost that weight. She's looking good. You know, her and Ray J see each other. They're commiserating about alcoholism, you know, going to rehab. You know, she's doing well and all that. That's cute. That's all great. Cool. But we get introduced to this stripper, Apple Watts. I think it was Apple Watts. You know, she was cool or whatever. She had a nice body. And you know, she's twerking and you know, she's trying to shoot her shot to A1. So first she's twerking. Then she starts rapping and singing. You know, it was cool or whatever. But as she's twerking, Lyrica walks in. And you know, Lyrica's already fired up from K Michelle. And Lyrica in this moment, you know, approaches Apple Watts or whatever. You know, he got a whole wife and all this. And you know, Apple Watts apologizes, which is something we never see. Usually the stripper be pumped up, ready to start something. But you know, Apple Watts apologizes. And you know, we're thinking that it's going to be good from there. But they kind of start going at it. Lyrica hits A1. And I'm just like, you know, like, we women be so upset about domestic violence. You know, men putting their hands on women. But we have to watch ourselves too. Trust me. This is not something I'm just telling, observing. It's something I had to watch with myself because, you know, when I get to talking and my hand gets to going, you have to watch that with yourself because it's threatening doing all this, you know. Put your hands down, learn how to express yourself otherwise. But the fact that she puts her hands on her husband, you know, we saw in the preview for the season that she does more of that, throwing stuff at him, putting her hands on him, and you know, that's just not cool. It's not cool. Moniece is still with old girl. I can't remember her name, but she's having some type of fashion show with Mr. Ray and, you know, for some sneakers, I think. And, you know, everything's going well until Paris and Bridget walk in. Now, this is where, you know, at first, when Paris said that, you know, K Michelle made this bad name for her by telling everybody she stole, I felt a little bad for her, you know. But then in this very moment, all that went away. So Paris remembers when Princess said, drop the pen if you're ever in the same place as Moniece. Why does Paris go outside and do that? I'm just sitting here thinking, like, can y'all imagine Princess pregnant self, baby kicking, knocking, rolling around, grabbing her stuff out of breath, trying to roll up, trying to hop in the car and rush off to the venue where Moniece is at? Can y'all imagine that? Sure enough, Princess walks in. Paris stops the whole fashion show, hands Princess the mic. Very staged, might I add, very scripted. But hands her the mic. Princess saying all this disrespectful stuff on the mic. You know, I heard someone here had something to say about me having a surrogate. You're just mad because I'm going to be a better mother. Like, all of that. And Moniece is sitting there very calm. But that's one thing about Moniece. She can look calm, but she's going to pop off. And it's that much more scary because she's popping off calmly, but not so calmly. So, I mean, people had to get her. They had to grab her. She was running out the back door. You know, really got to go after this pregnant woman. But the thing is, it's another thing as to where, and we are mad about someone having a reaction and not mad about the person who had the initial action. Paris had no business dropping a pin to a pregnant woman. And then Princess, you know, you're supposed to be up here. You know, you've gotten married, you're pregnant after having all this difficulty with being able to get pregnant. You know, we know that people have all these issues with getting pregnant. And you know, that's your own business. You know, nobody's knocking you for it, nobody's making fun of you for it. But when you have all these tries to get pregnant, and then you allow all this negative energy, you know, you came there. Y'all weren't in the same space, and then you decided to say something to her finally because she's been doing all this stuff on Twitter, on Instagram. You came there. So I can't get behind that, Princess. You know, you're supposed to be nurturing this baby, you know, being very careful because it took a lot, you know. But no. And Paris, I'm watching you, girl. All right, so like I said, this season definitely shows promise of being more than enough tea. from K. Michelle dropping the dime that Lyrica messed with Safaree even after being married, you know, us hearing about Lyrica and A1 maybe getting a divorce. You know, Brooke Valentine, I don't know when she's gonna come back, but I'm sure when she does, it'll be some drama. Tierra Marie, you know, in this sex tape. So stay tuned for this season. I will be reviewing it. So comment down below what you thought about the very first episode of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I'm Camray. This is Camray Music TV. I thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe down below, like the video, and share the video on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or wherever you share your stuff. See y'all next time. Bye.